Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? No, I'm not skipping my intro because this is going to be a real serious video. Maybe for Miss Jaclyn Hill-Torrey it'll be a real serious video, but it's not for me. I've been filming videos all day long. I just ran up to the pool for about 15 minutes, take a little dip in the pool with my neighbors. Listen, I got dinner to eat, I got shows to watch tonight, I got naps to take. But I saw that Jaclyn Hill posted this video, and I was actually going to wait until tomorrow to make my video about it. I may make a follow-up video depending on other people's reactions and responses to this, but I saw that she posted this video. People started texting me about it and all kinds of things, right? I had honestly just posted a video about Toddy Westbrook and Jaclyn Hill and them not disclosing affiliate links. And, like, I literally posted that video, and then people started texting me, and they're like, did you see Jaclyn's video? Jaclyn came out, she said she's closing her brands. She's closing her brands. She's closing them down. Anyway, and I was like, okay, well, I'll make this video tomorrow. People are walking down the street. It's such a nice evening in Indianapolis. But anyway, it's such a nice evening in Indianapolis to hang out with your family and friends. And y'all are my family and friends because I'm sitting here making a Jaclyn. It's like we're just, listen, it's like we're just sitting on the front porch. I'm drinking some coffee. I just went in and got some coffee, and we're drinking some coffee, and we're hanging out. We're having a conversation about Jaclyn Hill's new video. So that's what we're going to do. Now, before I even get into this, let me tell you, her video is called I'm Closing My Brands, okay? Probably one of her most viewed videos that she's posted in a long time, right? So, an interesting thing happened, okay? No, I ain't got no fans. I ain't got no lip gloss. We're just... Oh my Lord, I almost said we're raw dogging it. Anyway, well, we're raw dogging it today, okay? That's what we're doing. I'm 51 years old. I can say raw dogging it, can't I? So anyway, we're raw dogging it for Jaclyn Hill today. So, because I got some things to say. And let me tell you what this interesting thing that happened was. So, I sat down here and I watched this video. Because I was like, okay, I'm going to watch it now. And so I watched the video back, and at first, I was kind of like, wow, like, okay, she's taking some responsibility. Like, I'm real impressed with this video. Which I think is what's happening to many of the people that are commenting on the video. Because the majority of the comments, and I looked because somebody had left a comment and said CEO, question mark, like, you don't even own your own brand and whatever. And I looked, and like, up to like 15 minutes, that comment still hadn't been deleted. I can look in here right now and see. Because I was like, is she deleting comments? So let me see. If this comment is deleted yet. I think it was like, hold on a second. No, it's not refreshing comments or anything. But anyway, I don't know that she's deleting comments. Maybe she is. Y'all can tell me in the comment section below if your comment was deleted over there. Because a lot of people have negative things to say about it on social media. Okay, so the fact that it is like highly flooded with positive comments, the people just singing her praises and all this kind of stuff. I have to tell you though, what I think is that people are watching it one time and they're not really thinking about it, and this whole kind of like marketing tactic of Jaclyn Hill getting vulnerable and using key tag phrases in her video about being vulnerable, and she kind of lightly addresses some of the things, I think is what people are responding to. And so they're watching it, and they're just kind of like watching it like, oh, she's closing her brands, and this is sad, and I used to love Jaclyn, and blah, 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 and she starts crying it, and all kind of stuff, right? So the first time I watched it, I was kind of like, this is interesting to me, because I'm going to try to, approach this with an open mind. And, oh, she does seem kind of vulnerable in this video, and she seems to be taking some kind of accountability and responsibility for this. So I watched it the first time. And then I was like, okay, I'm not going to make this video today. And then I got down to the pool, and, well, I think I posted this actually, like, I was looking at some stuff online, right? And I was seeing these comments on Twitter. Now, this is what happened. I saw these comments on Twitter, and so I walked down to the pool, and as soon as I got to the pool, I said, I am going to make my Jaclyn Hill video tonight, and I've got some unpopular opinions, because I just watched that one time, and so I thought, I'm going to get in a video, and I'm going to say, like, oh, Jaclyn's so vulnerable, and she seems, like, really, like, taking accountability in this video, and I thought, this is completely opposite than what I usually say, so, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, because I put out something before that, like, let me know what your thoughts are. I might include it in my video tomorrow, which I'm going to get to some of those comments in just a second, people's observations about this video. So I get to the pool and whatever, and I tweet this thing out there. What did I tweet? I said, hold on a second. I put up this tweet, and I said, well, first I said, I just posted a new video and saw Jaclyn posted her video. I'll watch it tonight and make a video about it tomorrow. Let me know your thoughts below. Might be used in my video. That was my first one, okay, before I even watched the video. Then I posted another one and I said, okay, I'm going to make the Jaclyn video tonight. I have lots of probably unpopular opinions, okay? And then on my YouTube channel, I posted it and a pinned comment. Well, I'd already posted a pinned comment, but I posted another pinned comment, or another comment, and I said underneath there, where is it at? I said something about, I'm gonna watch it, I'm gonna make my video tomorrow, but I'm going to the pool or something like that. And so got to the pool and I was in there with my neighbors and, talking, hey, how you doing and all this kind of stuff. And we were relaxing and, they were getting ready to leave. So I got out of the pool and I was like looking at my phone while I was drying off. And I thought, I'm gonna watch this video back a second time, right? So I watched the video back a second time, and while I was watching it back a second time, I started catching things that I hadn't seen the first time. Now, I had read some of my comments on Twitter where people were saying that she never mentioned Caitlin Nicholson's name, but she talked about the Cozy brand, and that she doesn't take a lot of accountability, and her stories have changed over the years. And so I'd seen those comments, and so when I'm watching it the second time, I'm thinking to myself, oh wow, I am noticing these things now, okay? If you just watch it once, you don't catch those things, okay? I mean, a lot of you true detectives out there, you did, right? But I think if you're just watching it, and you're somebody that used to love Jaclyn Hill, the first time through, this video is going to appeal to you. So I watched it the second time and I was like, okay, wow, now the real Jaclyn Hill, will you please stand up? I'm starting to see it a little bit, It's kind of like that scene in White Lotus 2, with Jennifer Coolidge. And she says to Portia, Portia, get your shit together. Jaclyn, you need to get your shit together. Okay, this video was not it. I'm sorry, it just wasn't. It was a start. But, at the end of the video, I started thinking to myself, this is kind of I was trying to be nice. I was trying to be objective, right? And I'm thinking to myself, well, I've grown a lot in my life. Things I would have probably said in my 20s, my early 20s, my level of accountability in my early 20s is not my level of accountability today. I've worked on a lot of things. And then I was like, but Jaclyn Hill's not in her early 20s. Jaclyn Hill's a 32-year-old woman, okay? I mean, she's had a lot of life experience. And I think that's an easy excuse, is to say, oh, well, she's young. And all. No, she's not young. She's a 32-year-old grown woman, okay? I know 32-year-old women that work 2 and 3 jobs, own and run their own businesses very successfully, okay? Have 3 to 5 kids that they're putting dinner on the table for, doing homeworks at night, getting the kids into bed and everything like that. Listen, and are having full relationships. So cry me a river, Jaclyn Hill, about how difficult your life is because you were handed this miracle life, which she talks about she don't really care about the money anymore. Did y'all catch she's sitting in her closet with her Louis Vuitton jewelry box behind her and all Birkins and everything? You don't care about money, but she sat in your closet for this video. You thought that was a good look, Jaclyn. Okay, we'll get to that in just a second because that's part of my notes. So I watched this video through the second time, and as I was watching it through the second time, I was thinking to myself, now I'm seeing the truth of Jaclyn Hill, right? Okay. Then I watched it a third time and I started taking notes, and I have lots of notes about it. When I watched it the third time, I was like, man, there are so many discrepancies in this video. It is so obvious what this video is, but it took me 3 times to watch it to really realize it, And I think that that is part of me, in the past, having always kind of felt for Jaclyn, or that Jaclyn came across as relatable, And I did like Jaclyn back in the day. I don't feel that way today, okay? I feel like she scams her audience. I feel like she is really money hungry. I don't care what she says in this video. She wants to sit there and talk about how she don't care about money, but she's still putting up all these Amazon and Neiman Marcus and Lululemon affiliate links. Girl, yes, you did, and you didn't address that at all in your video. Now, I'll tell you before I get into my notes about this and before I read some of the comments, I think that, with a video like this where you come out and you get very vulnerable, and she did, okay, and you tell some truths, which she told a few truths, kind of. When you do that, this is not a video that you can come out and make 5 times, okay? And that has been one of the mistakes of Jaclyn Hill in the past, is that she's done a video and then it backfires, and then she wants to come out, 3 months later and make a follow-up video, but then that one backfires and she don't like it, okay? Instead of just coming out and actually being honest, which would be a start. I think what she should have called this video is, what did she call it? I'm closing my brands. She should have called it, I'm closing my brands and addressing the truth, okay? And she should have addressed things like, well, what is going on with Jaclyn Cosmetics? Did you ever own it? Is it, you filed bankruptcy? Forma is the parent brand of this, but you keep on referring to yourself as the CEO. It would have been her opportunity to clear that up, but she calls herself the CEO and her brand all through the entire video, okay? That would have been perfect for her, okay? She could have fully addressed the Jaclyn Nicholson. I can say Jaclyn Nicholson's name in my video. I don't know why she can't, okay? She could have fully addressed that whole situation instead of just kind of skating over it, which is what she does. But she wants people to be able to say, I already addressed it. And this is what her fans will say later. If I ever bring it up in a video, they'll say, well, she addressed it. She addressed it in the video where she was talking about closing her brands. No, she didn't address it fully. She didn't even mention Jaclyn's name. She didn't even have the balls to want to come out and say she's vulnerable and she's taking accountability, but she can't even say Jaclyn Nicholson's name. She referred to her as a smaller influencer, a Canadian influencer. That's what she referred to her. She couldn't even say her name in the video, okay? All right. And there are a lot of other things that she didn't address. She didn't address Marlene Estelle being on the sesh and all the things that Marlene Estelle came out about her, but she threatened to come out and tell her truth on Marlene Estelle. She ain't going to come out and tell her truth on Marlene Estelle because it's going to make her look bad, okay? Because Marlena comes with facts. Jaclyn Hill comes with opinions and thoughts and feelings, okay? And she ain't going to come out and talk about Becca Cosmetics. She's not going to come out and talk about her relationship with Morphe. She's not going to come out and talk about her, you know, website crashing and her saying there was 25 million people on it. She's not going to come out and talk about the mystery boxes. She's not going to come out and talk about the affiliate codes. She's not going to come out and talk about any of that kind of stuff because it's all going to make her look bad. She only wants to do a video where she looks good in it, okay? And I can tell you, if I had sat down here and I had watched this video one time, this is not the video that you guys would get, okay? Because the first time I watched it, I was like, wow, this is a different Jaclyn Hill. Like, this is Jaclyn Hill taking accountability. So for all of you out there that love Jaclyn Hill, watch my video, read the comments on Twitter that people are saying, then go back and watch her video 2 and 3 times and see if you don't see the same things that I see, okay? So I want to go into this video. I want to tell you about the notes that I took on here because I took a lot of notes, okay? So she goes in here and she announces she's shutting down Cozy and Jaclyn Roxanne. And I was kind of like, at first when she started talking about this, she's like, yeah, like that was like one of the very first things in the video. She's like, I'm talking about, or I'm shutting down Cozy and Jaclyn Roxanne. And I'm thinking to myself, I thought that was your legacy, girl. Didn't Jordan say that Cozy was your legacy? And this is where there's discrepancies, okay? I'm not saying that somebody's opinion can't change, but she kind of paints this picture throughout the whole thing that she never wanted to own brands. Girl, do you not remember when you announced your lipsticks and this was your dream to own your own brand? This had always been your dream. But then in this video, you kind of play it off like, well, Manny and Laura and Desi and all these other people were coming up with their own brands as YouTubers, and that's just what you do. And you're like, me too. You didn't talk about it being your dream. You talked about makeup being your dream as a young girl and how you always wanted to be a makeup artist. Well, my question to you would be, why didn't you ever go to school to become a makeup artist? If that was your dream, working at the MAC counter, okay, and you're 32 years old, it's not too late to go back to school, you know? Patrick Starr just went and got his esthetician's license, went back to school. Why don't you go back to school? I love for some of these makeup people that got famous on YouTube, you know, that have less knowledge than expertise. I almost did it again. See, the other day I kept on saying expertise. Experts that have expertise in the field of makeup. Okay, I would love for some of these makeup artists on YouTube, MUAs, I'd love for some of them to go to school, okay, and get actual degrees and certifications and licensure in makeup artistry, you know, and don't be coming over here and saying, well, you don't have a degree in journalism. I've never claimed to be a journalist. I'm a tea channel, okay? I'm a tea channel that sips coffee and talks gossip. That's what I'm doing. You don't have to have a degree in that, okay? If she wants to be a drama channel, she can be a drama channel. Just start it up. Call it Jaclyn Hill's Drama Channel. Anyway, that was the first thing. So then she goes on and she talked about she's had to own where she was wrong. And this is where, like, this is kind of like the premise of the whole video, is that she's going to own where she's been wrong and, you know, whatever, okay? Then she goes in and she goes, this all goes back to Jaclyn Cosmetics, lipstick launch, and her love for makeup, okay? And then she says that, and this is kind of like, this was part of the first time watching it where I was like, well, that's honest. Like, I appreciate that she came out and addressed this. She says that she's made jokes because that's the way that she copes with the trauma that it's caused her. And that there's actually nothing funny about it or how she handled it. And I think she's referring to several of the TikToks that she's made where she's kind of poked fun at the lipsticks, you know, and things like that. Or said like, oh, you know, I'm still using them after 4 years after they've been canceled and things like that. And I'm like, okay, well, I understand that, you know. Like, I just talked about that in a video the other day. If you can't laugh about it, you cry about it, right? Like, I get that, right? Okay. But now you've come out and you've announced it. We don't need to be making jokes laughing about it anymore, okay? But you're crying in a video talking about how upsetting this is to you and how this was like where it all stems from and it all goes back to these lipsticks. then we don't need to be making jokes about it anymore. If you want us to take you seriously about it, then you need to take it seriously too. Because you're leading people, okay, with how you respond to this. I understand wanting to make a joke to cope with something. Trust me, I do, okay? But you're confusing your audience. So then she talks about growing up, all of her dreams revolved around makeup, that she wanted to be a makeup artist. And that's where I'm talking about, like, well, girl, why don't you go to school? There ain't nobody stopping you from going to school. I was actually impressed that Patrick Starr went and got his esthetician's license and all that. I was kind of impressed about all that, okay? She talked about how she wanted to open, this was always her dream, okay? That she wanted to open a shop where you could get your hair and your makeup done, and they had a photographer in the back, and you could go get full glam and then have your pictures taken. I was like, is she talking about glamour shots? Girl, are you talking about your dream was inventing something that already existed? Your dream was glamour shots, girl, back in the day. Feather boas and jean jackets, that was your dream in the mall, okay? You don't know about glamour shots. Glamour shots was where you would go and get your hair all done and your makeup done, and you could have outfit changes and things like that, and you get pictures taken. It was called glamour shots. It was in the mall in the 80s. I know you weren't around back then, okay, but girl, like seriously, you don't know about glamour shots. Your dream was something that already existed. Okay, all right, girl. Another thing where if you had done with a quick Google search, okay, place to go take pictures, do hair and makeup, it would come up glamour shots, okay? Actually, I should probably do that right now just to prove a point. A place, hold on a second, to take, now watch, I'm going to prove myself wrong, okay? To get makeup, do you hear they're taking out this tree behind me? This is why this video cannot be that serious. Okay, I can't even type straight. A place to get makeup done, hair done, and take pictures. I swear to God, if it pulls up glamour shots, I'm going to lose my mind, okay? No, it shows me a bunch of businesses. Okay. Where to get your prom makeup done, all this kind of stuff. Oh no, here it does. It comes up and it says glamour shots from the 80s. Oh my God, reminiscing the past. Oh my God, it sure did. I can't believe that. See, Jaclyn Hill with a quick Google search. You could have looked up glamour shots and then you would never have had to, go after that dream. You could have just bought a franchise. And then, like if you had done a quick Google search of Cozy, you could, I know it wasn't trademarked, but anyway. So, Lord. She ain't got an original idea to save her life, does she? Okay, poor thing. Bless your heart, Jaclyn Hill, sweetheart. Okay, you're going to start you a glamour shots. Okay. So then she goes in and she said she realized through making money on YouTube that she could start her own brand. So she got lucky and she got famous on YouTube and she started realizing that, oh wow, now I do have the resources to make my own brand. I can do this, okay? After the lipsticks came out, she said, and she kind of, like, this is what's so interesting about watching this video is, she skips huge parts of the truth, okay? She skips, like, she leaves out a lot of the story of what happened. And now, this is where I talk about YouTubers and what they do is, if you have questions 1 through 9 over here, okay, that you want her to respond to about, like, being CEO, did you actually put up your own money for Jaclyn Cosmetics? How do you call it family owned when you don't earn anything on it? Like, okay, does Forma Brands own you? Because they say they do, and they're the parent company, and they're filing bankruptcy, and they're restructuring. What is your actual role within Jaclyn Cosmetics other than you saying 15 times in this video, your brand and that you're the CEO and the founder, okay? Which I said in my video the other day, I explained how she can say that she's the founder, and maybe they just let her think that she's the CEO, even though she's not really, right? Okay. But what a lot of YouTubers do when they come out with these apology videos or explanation videos is, they focus, you want them to focus on 1 through 9 over here, right? What they do is, they distract your attention with this one thing over here. And that's what she does in this video, is she leaves out a lot of the truth, okay? But only after watching it 2 or 3 times do you really realize it. You start asking yourself, well, she didn't mention this. Well, she didn't mention that. Well, she didn't say this. Oh, she's leaving out this. She's leaving out that. Like, for example, I was even thinking to myself, she's talking about all these people on YouTube that started their own brand. She's talking about Manny. She's talking about Laura. She's talking about Desi. Oh, but girl, you didn't mention Toddy Westbrook. You didn't mention Jeffree Star. Okay? You didn't mention Jeffree Star or Shane Dawson. Why? I don't know why you would mention Shane Dawson. But you didn't mention Jeffree Star, who you have supported for years, okay, on Instagram and things like that. You know, you didn't mention James Charles. You didn't talk about all this kind of, like, so why is it you only picked those people? Because those were the people that were doing it at the time that you were doing it. Well, Jeffree Star was around at the time that you started your makeup. So why didn't you mention Jeffree Star? You know, is that because he's problematic? And that's where you realize that she picks and chooses her words very, very, very carefully, okay? She picked the setup. She picked how she sat down. Everything about this was very contrived. But it's only when you start watching this several times that you realize that. That you don't realize before that it's not just a sit-down video where she turns on the camera and she starts talking to her audience. No, 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 no. It's very contrived, okay? So then she goes on and she talks about after the lipsticks, she did the bare minimum. The way she handled the lipsticks was the biggest regret of her life, okay? After the fact. She didn't talk about how it was the biggest regret of her life on how she put together the lipsticks, or how she rushed the orders of the lipsticks, or how she didn't have good quality control for her lipsticks, or how she chose to use laboratories that people like Marlene Estelle had told her not to use. She didn't mention any of that. She talked about how she wasn't proud of herself with how she handled the lipsticks. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, if Forma Brands really is the parent company and they own it, then maybe that's all she can speak to in this video. Maybe because she wants to keep on coming out and say she's the CEO and all this kind of stuff, but she's not really saying anything about all that kind of stuff. She's talking about how she handled it, okay? And that she handled it poorly. Okay. Yeah, you did handle it poorly. You lied. You said you hired all these 6 scientists that to this day, this would have been a perfect opportunity for you to talk about the 6 scientists that you hired and what evidence did they come up with about your lipsticks. We haven't heard about that in years. You said that. You said you were hiring 6 scientists that were going to do an investigation and that you were going to come back and let us know what they found out. Why did you not think that that was important to follow up with that, Jaclyn? I'm just asking. You're so truthful and honest to your audience. Okay. But that part you didn't need to be truthful and honest about, okay? She said in there that she was surrounded by yes men. That's when she decided to start new brands. And she references other YouTubers that start other brands. And this is when she's talking about like Manny and Laura and Desi and all these kind of things, right? Okay. What's interesting about this part is when she talks about how, you know, she starts other brands and all this kind of stuff because... And then she says she was surrounded by yes men. There have been so many drama commentary channels that have called Jaclyn Hill out about being surrounded by yes men. And there's been a lot of audience members that have too. This is where I feel like she's picking key words, and this whole thing was very well scripted, okay? And she's like, I'm gonna say things that people want me to say, and they want me to address the Cozy situation. I'm gonna address the Cozy situation, but I'm not gonna take no responsibility for it. But I'm going to address it. That way they can't say I can't address it anymore. People say I have been surrounded by yes men. I'll say, oh, at that time I was surrounded by yes men. At that time. And they were all telling me, you know, what I wanted to hear. And so I started all these brands. She puts the blame on everybody else. This is, again, Jaclyn Hill playing the victim. It's everybody else's fault, right? Even though she said she's going to take total accountability for it. She doesn't take accountability for the lipsticks. She takes accountability for how she addressed the lipsticks. That's very important, okay, when you watch this video. We're going to talk about vulnerability and honesty. She could have done a video where she came out and said everything about the lipsticks was wrong. Because you have to remember, okay, yes, she came out several years ago and she said that, but she's recanted that story. Those jokes that she talks about with how she deals with trauma and all that she suffered, in those TikToks, okay, she's made fun of the fact that people said there were things wrong with the lipsticks, and she's insinuated that there was never anything wrong with the lipsticks. She's basically taken any validity away from what she said in her video addressing the lipsticks by her jokes, okay? So they're not just jokes as a coping mechanism. They're jokes that are, you know, condescending and patronizing to people that have real issues with their lipsticks. There were real issues with the lipsticks. She doesn't address any of that because she wants to keep your focus away from here, and she just wants to focus on here. And what she says over here is, I need to take accountability for how I handled that whole situation. Oh, okay, well, that's good. This is a Jaclyn we've never heard before. We've never heard of vulnerable Jaclyn Hill. What? Girl, where's all this part over here? Oh, you're not talking about that part over there? Okay. All right. And I know that I'm going to get a lot of people in this video that are going to be like, you are so hating on Jaclyn Hill. And she is a 32-year-old woman that has owned multiple businesses. A 32-year-old woman. She's been married twice, okay? She is not 16 years old. She has life experience. She is worth millions and millions of dollars. She lives in a mansion in Tampa, okay? Let's not sugarcoat what this is, okay? She has made a lot of money off of the lies and manipulation of not being honest with her audience. This was her opportunity, and she missed it, okay? So don't be painting that picture to me. You know, listen, let's stop coddling people, okay? If you really love people, be honest with them. Go watch this video 2 and 3 and 4 times, okay? Then tell me if your opinion doesn't change, because mine did greatly. All right, so then she comes out and she says she didn't ever really want to be a brand owner, that she was her happiest doing videos and having a relationship with her followers, okay? Well, what's so interesting to me about this is that, girl, didn't nobody stop you from making videos? All these other people that you talk about, Manny and Laura and all these other people, they still make regular videos. They have a regular posting schedule. Some of them have 2 channels. Manny and Laura have their full coverage podcast. Laura, I think, has 2 channels. Manny has his channel where he posts consistent. What are you talking about? They're continuing to do makeup content. Nobody told you that you had to stop doing content just because you opened these other brands, okay? Laura Lee, I think, has 2 brands now, right? So she's running 2 brands, 2 YouTube channels, and a podcast. And you compared yourself to her and said that she was one of the reasons why you wanted to start your brand. So Laura Lee can do it, but you can't do it, all right? Or is this just another excuse? Because every time Jaclyn Hill gets in a scandal, fact check me on this, okay? You Jaclyn Hill lovers out there that will defend her at any expense, fact check me on this. Every time Jaclyn Hill gets in some trouble, what she always says is, I just miss doing makeup. I love makeup, doing makeup so much. It's my biggest love. I just want to get back to making content and doing YouTube videos, doing makeup, and connecting with you people. And you know what we see? 4 months later, she ain't posting a video until she's got something to sell. So guess what her next video will probably be? 3 months down the road. An Amazon sale of her favorites on Amazon where she can link everything she's making because she ain't got these brands anymore. Which I also think that it's interesting she's coming and talking about how her brands are closing down but she's got new releases. And trust me, everybody that's a Jaclyn Hill fan will run over there and start buying these products because they'll be like, oh, well, it's going to be closed down. Like, I want these products now because I love Jaclyn Hill so much. So go run over there and spend your money, okay? Because they won't be going on sale no more. Anyway, and she's also talking about how she wanted to be a brand owner. She's said for years that she wanted to be a brand owner. That was her dream, okay? And I'm not saying that somebody's opinion can't change. Like my friend Tanya Jean says, my opinion can change from 1 minute to the next, okay? But your dreams, your desires, your hopes, and your interests, like, I don't know that you work so hard. Like, you act like Manny came out with Lunar Beauty and all of a sudden you're like, oh, me, I'm going to start me a brand. Girl, seriously? You have stood behind Jaclyn Cosmetics for so many years. And I'm going to say this at the end of my video, but let me say it right now as well. Let's not get more confused about this than this is, okay? This video is a precursor to her coming out and announcing that Jaclyn Cosmetics is closing down. I just want to make that very, very clear. When you watch it by the 3rd time, you are like, oh no, she's closing Jaclyn Cosmetics, or Forma is closing Jaclyn Cosmetics. And the reality is, she doesn't post videos. She has to buy her following on Instagram, which has been proven, okay? It's been proven. And she doesn't have the following that she has. She doesn't get the views and the likes that she used to get on her Instagram or her TikToks or her YouTube videos. She hardly ever posts. That's all her marketing. So she's not selling on Cozy. She's not selling on Jaclyn Roxanne. She's not selling on Jaclyn Cosmetics. She's not making any money. That's why she's closing these brands down, okay? They're not making her any money. They're not affordable for her. That's why she's closing these brands down. Not because of this love of makeup. If she has this love of makeup, then I hope to God we start seeing 2 videos a week from Jaclyn Hill on her channel doing Get Readies with me. Because if you're going to come out in a video and use that as an excuse and say that, then you better have it to back it up, okay? And come out in a video and say, well, I love doing makeup and I miss connecting with my people, then do makeup and connect with your people, okay? But if that is just an excuse, only time will tell. And we'll know. We will know, okay? And I hope I'm wrong. I hope this is all, I mean, I really truly mean this when I say this, okay? Because I always say I want the best for people. I truly hope that I'm wrong about all of this, and this is truly Jaclyn Hill trying to get back to what makes her happy, and having these brands does not make her happy, and that Jaclyn Hill really, truly just wants to do makeup content on YouTube and connect with her people. I hope that that is truly what she's trying to get back to, and that's what makes her happy, and that's what she wants to do because she loves that. But like I said, time will tell. It'll be told by her own actions. If that's the truth, then we'll start seeing more videos from Jaclyn Hill doing content on there, okay? Get readies with me and reviews and things like that. If not, and she continues to post 1 video a month, then girl, what you said in here was a lie, okay? I know you don't lie, but it's an omission of truth is what it is. It's going to stop. Hold on a second. Lord, I got naps to take and food to eat. Okay. So then she goes on to talk about how she don't care about the money at this point. I mean, I probably wouldn't either if I was sitting in a $5 million mansion with a $200,000 vintage Bronco and Louis Vuitton, you know, makeup cases and Louis Vuitton jewelry cases and Birkin sitting behind me. And I mean, are you kidding me? No, she shouldn't have to care about money. She'd never have to make another cent. Okay, if you don't care about makeup, stop linking Amazon links. Stop linking affiliate links, okay? Because you don't disclose it appropriately anyway. And I was hoping, since you wanted to make an attempt to get honest in this video, I was like, I hope she addressed these affiliate links and why she has no ability to do that whatsoever. But since you came out and you said you don't really care about money anymore, and you also said in there, hold on a second, that you feel like your social media looks like a brand deal, which it absolutely 100% does because of all of your ads that you have for your brands, and she acts like that's what she has to do. Girl, ain't nobody forcing you to post those affiliate links, okay? So stop with it. If you don't want your social media to look like a storefront, stop it, okay? Or if you're going to continue to post the affiliate links, at least appropriately and legally disclose. I'm kind of wondering if there's things behind the scenes that aren't going on why she's coming out and saying all this now. It makes me kind of wonder, like, is there legal involved with all this stuff? Is there a lot of stuff going on that we're not aware of? This is kind of her way of addressing it. Okay, so then she comes down and she says shutting these brands down will make her happy. I hope it does, you know, that she just wants to get back to doing makeup again. All right, girl. This is where she talks about her social media looking like brand deals. Yes, I 100% agree with that. Then she references Jaclyn's journey, those videos that she did on her channel several times, and that was her way to be vulnerable. And she even says on there that negativity is hard for her. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, girl, but you want to come out and be vulnerable on your channel and share things with people, but then you have such a hard time with negativity, and I get that, trust, I do, right? And don't anybody, please, don't compare somebody coming on her video that loved Jaclyn Hill and comparing somebody saying on her, Jaclyn, you said that you were, you know, never going to eat fried tomatoes anymore, and in this video you ate fried tomatoes, and Jaclyn Hill comes out and goes, I can't say anything in videos anymore, everybody's bullying me, okay? Do not come out and compare that to people stalking and harassing me and finding my medical records. Do not, okay? That is not a fair comparison to defend Jaclyn Hill. Do not, okay? I don't know what her story is about all that. Maybe she's gone through very similar things. I don't know, okay? I know she claimed to have at one point, but we never heard anything about that again, all right? So she comes out with her Jaclyn Journeys videos, and I'm just going to use this as an example since she actually brought it up in this video. But, you know, a big part of her Jaclyn's Journeys was talking about, like, weight loss and that she, like, you know, felt like she had a problem drinking and things like that. Okay, but what I noticed on those videos was you came out and you talked about how, like, you were leaning on drinking and you were talking to your therapist about it and whatever. And I thought those videos were very vulnerable. And I thought those videos were very honest and raw. And I thought that was a real way to connect with your audience, okay? But what happened was 2 videos down or 1 video down, you're in Miami, okay, drinking it up. And then you don't think your audience has a right, okay, to ask, I'm confused, Jaclyn. You wanted us to be concerned and care about you, but now you're coming out and you're doing the complete opposite, okay? That's why you stopped doing the Jaclyn's Journeys, was because you would come out and you would say all these things you were doing, from workouts to whatever, okay? But then you would stop doing that, and then people would question it, and they'd say, well, I'm confused, like, what happened? You could have just got into Jaclyn's Journey, and you could have just said, you guys, like, I worked it through with my therapist, and I did have a problem with drinking, but I don't anymore, and I've learned to moderate my drinking, and I'm back to normal again, and yeah, I'm drinking again. And nobody would have had anything to say about it. You could have said, I was working out for a long period of time, and I've kind of slowed down a little bit, and I'm hoping I'm getting back into it. That's called being raw, honest, and vulnerable. People would relate to that, Jaclyn, okay? But you get 1 or 2 negative criticisms on there where people are, like, questioning, like, they don't understand because it doesn't track with what you're showing, and you get so mad and you say you're being bullied. You're literally the ultimate victim. Jaclyn, you are somebody, and I will say this, and this is a compliment I'm giving you, okay? You are somebody that through the years has kind of bankrolled on this idea of being relatable, and you have the ability to do that, okay? There are a lot of people out there that grew up with you. There are a lot of people out there that love you, that find you relatable. If you had the ability to just get in a video and be 100% honest about everything, okay, and just come out and, like, under Jaclyn's Journeys, you know, if you say, like, okay, I'm not going to eat candy anymore, and then the next week you're eating candy, just come out in a video and say, it's not that deep, you guys, but, like, I'm really beating myself up because I didn't want to eat candy, and now I am, and I'm going to try hard to not eat candy again, but I don't know, maybe I'm going to maybe I'm going to rethink that decision. That's called relatable. That's called being honest. Listen, I've been talking for 5 years in my vlog about how I was going to lose weight. You know how many comments I've gotten from people that in October will say, oh, he wants to lose weight to go to Miami in March or April. Watch, he'll still be the same weight. Girl, I'm still the same weight in March or April. And you know what I come out and say? They're right. I didn't lose a damn pound. Okay, that's relatable, girl. People relate to that, okay? I don't understand why that's so difficult for you. So then she goes into this whole thing talking about the Cozy brand, okay? And she talks about the naming of the Cozy brand. She never once says Jaclyn Nicholson's name. She says the Canadian creator. Canadian creator, the smaller influencer on Instagram. You're talking about Jaclyn Nicholson. Is that who you're talking about, girl? I mean, you say in your video that you reached out to her, your team reached out to her and she didn't respond. So you know her name. I know you know her name because a million people have talked about it, but you can't say her name in the video. You can't apologize. She couldn't even say in this video, whatever the truth is out there, whether I trademarked it or not, whether I should have done that or I shouldn't have done that to Jaclyn, I know you have some feelings about this, and I am really sorry for how you feel about all that, okay? That's not even really an apology taking responsibility. That's saying, I'm sorry that you feel the way that you do, okay, is basically what she's saying. She couldn't even say, I'm sorry. She wants to get in a video and talk about how she needs to own her wrongs and take some accountability, and that is one of the biggest wrongs she has done. And then she wants to get in there and say, you guys don't know what's going on behind the scenes, okay? So what that tells me is lawyers are directing her on what to say and not say about this Cozy brand, okay? But then she has the nerve to come out and say, well, my attorneys looked into it and there was no trademark about it, so that's why I did it. Okay, well, a quick Google search, because I did it at the time, would have found out that Jaclyn Nicholson owned Coz, okay? So you could have looked into it. You chose not to, just like you could have looked into glamour shots. I know your dream would have been killed right in that moment, but you could have called it Jaclyn's Glamour Shots or something, right? Because you always want to put your name on other people's ideas. Oh, did I say that? Do I owe you an apology? Forget it, okay? Anyway, then she talks about stuff coming out before it shuts down. I mean, to be honest with you, I was kind of thrown out that she would actually have the nerve to come up and talk about this Jaclyn Nicholson thing, but she couldn't even say her name or even give kind of a sincere apology to it. And I was like, but girl, you want us to think that you're being vulnerable and taking accountability for your wrongs? And this was one of the biggest things that people have issues with, but you couldn't even say her name in a video. No attorney in the world would say you can't say her name. You could have said a Canadian influencer, Jaclyn Nicholson, that owned, you say her brand's name, you can't say her name? Is it like sin on your lips, you can't say it? Okay, alright. Rude is what it is. She talks about stuff coming out before it shuts down. She talks about how she doesn't know the future of the Jaclyn Cosmetics brand. She talks about Ulta and doing the bare minimum. This is very important, okay? Because a lot of people are saying her stuff is on sale at Ulta stores. People have said that. And I meant to go into Ulta the other day and ask, and I forgot when I was with my cousin Caroline for Cousin Fun Day. But anyway, people are saying that Ulta workers are saying that they're getting rid of Jaclyn Cosmetics, but it's still online, okay? I think she already knows that Ulta is pulling her contract, okay? Because she comes out and she says she did the bare minimum supporting her brand on Ulta. Girl, seriously? I remember you posting an awful lot about it on Instagram. In all honesty, I remember you posting an awful lot about it and talking about your stuff being in Ulta stores. You've talked about it in videos where you use your stuff and you say it's in Ulta stores and you can get it exclusively at Ulta. I feel like you haven't done the bare minimum. I feel like you've done a lot, actually. The problem is your shit ain't selling, okay? And so Ulta's pulling your shit because there's no reason to have it there anymore because you aren't even marketing your own businesses anymore. And maybe that's because you're not happy having these businesses. I don't know. Maybe going back to making YouTube videos and doing makeup is what truly will make you happy. I hope so. Okay, but I'm not really sure in watching this video if it's you're getting rid of these businesses because they ain't making you no money anymore. Or because, I mean, if that's the case, then stop doing the affiliate links too. You know, stop it all. Okay? And just go back to doing makeup and that stuff that makes you happy. So then she goes on and she says, I'm going to own up to it. I'm like, own up to what, girl? Okay, so now this is the precursor to Ulta coming out and saying, well, we're getting rid of Jaclyn Cosmetics. And she'll say, well, I already addressed it in that video. I said I did the bare minimum, so that's why they're taking me out of their stores. No, they're taking you out of the stores because you ain't selling. Okay, it's not because you didn't do the bare minimum, it's because people aren't interested in your cosmetics brand anymore. That's the truth you don't want out, okay? You don't want the truth. This is the 1 through 9 over here, and she's deflecting you guys over here. So you look at this part over here, which is Jaclyn saying, I did the bare minimum. And you guys are like, yes, Jaclyn, you did the bare minimum. Yes, Jaclyn, that's why they're going to take you out of Ulta. No, Jaclyn, it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that nobody's interested in you anymore and you don't have any kind of following and you don't make videos anymore doing makeup, so you're not selling makeup. That's the truth, though, probably, right? Okay. Then she talks about the possibility of Jaclyn Cosmetics shutting down. She talks about that several times in the video. And then she talks about getting excited about getting back to what she loves, which is doing makeup content. Okay, girl, I mean, you have said this so many times. Every time you get yourself into some kind of debacle or scandal, you always say, I just want to get back to what I love doing, which is doing makeup content and connecting with my audience, but you never do. You never do. You say that. You've said that a million times, and like I said, fact check me on it, okay? But you don't ever do that, but you've said it a million times. So anyway, I think this whole video was to announce the brand closings, but I also think it was to put that out there so that when Jaclyn Cosmetics closes down, which I think it will very, very soon, I think the announcement will come out very soon. I think she knows it's coming out, and I think she can say, I already said I didn't know what was going to happen with Jaclyn Cosmetics. This is Jaclyn Hill not taking ownership, because that would have been an honest video, okay? To get out and say, Jaclyn Cosmetics is closing down. I'm not part of Jaclyn Cosmetics. I put my money into it. I am the founder. They use my intellectual licensing for them, but I'm not the CEO of Jaclyn Cosmetics. I'm not. Forma Brands owns Jaclyn Cosmetics. They own the majority of Jaclyn Cosmetics. I am the person that they reference. I am the face of Jaclyn Cosmetics because I always wanted to do that. She talks about how she always wanted to use her name. But no, Forma Brands owns Jaclyn Cosmetics, and they've decided that we're going to close Jaclyn Cosmetics down. It's financially not doing well, you know, and she could say with the lockdown and with me not making a lot of videos and all this kind of stuff, they've just decided to do that, you know, and it makes me very sad. And I'm also closing these other brands. That would have been an authentic video, okay? That would have been an honest video. So don't y'all tell me that she's being real vulnerable in this video. No, she's not. She's diverting your attention to what she wants you to think and see, not what the actual truth is. Unbelievable to me, okay? So let's get into some of these comments of what people said on here. Oh, Jen loves reviews. She said, I have so many thoughts, Peter. Oh my God. When she said her biggest regret was how she handled the lipsticks, I honestly thought she was going to talk about her My Lipsticks video. But it was just that she started 2 other brands instead of focusing on Jaclyn Cosmetics. Yes, and one of the things that was interesting about this video was that she would address something, but then she would kind of go right into the next thing, right? So thank you, Jen, for that. Somebody said, I'm watching now, it seems like she's finally trying to be a bit more honest, which is nice to see. As you always say, everyone deserves another chance, and if she can finally get back to basics, it'll be so refreshing. I agree with you 100% on that comment, okay? I absolutely agree with you. You know, and that was what I saw the first time. I was like, oh wow, this is a different, honest Jaclyn. And you know, even watching it 3 times, I will say this. If Jaclyn can come out of this and maybe, you know, get rid of all these brands, I just wish for her she could be honest, because it would really, I think her audience would see a new side of her. Even this little bit of vulnerability that she shows in this video, her audience is responding to it very positively. If she could come out and just own everything, she'd have nothing to hide from anymore. She'd have nothing to run from anymore. She could just go forward doing everything. And anytime anybody wanted to say to her, well, you didn't address this, she'd say, you know what, I already did. I already addressed it in a video. You know, and I'm not coming out and addressing it again. It's a one and done. I came out and addressed it. I addressed never being the owner, if I was, what I was, how much money I put into it, why Jaclyn Cosmetics is closing down, why I closed my brands down. I talked about this. I talked about Marlene Estelle. I made a public apology to Marlene Estelle and said, Marlene, I'm sorry. You know, I should have listened to you about the lab. You know, but I didn't. I listened to Linda from Morphe because she was my good Judy at the time. There's so many other things that she could have addressed in there. If she came out and did that, I mean, we very rarely see a video on YouTube where somebody comes out and literally owns all their stuff. I say this a lot about a lot of creators. That video right there would be life and career changing to Jaclyn Hill if she could do that. You know, she's a 32-year-old woman, you guys. It's not, I mean, she's closer to 40 than she is to 20. Let's not give her this whole thing like she's this young girl and she can't, no, okay? Not when there are people out there that are much younger than her that are serving our country and protecting our country on a daily basis, okay? Give me a break. There are people out there that have 2 to 5 kids, okay? That are raising kids and have 2 to 3 jobs every single day and are putting money in Jaclyn Hill's pocket, all right? She can take a little bit more responsibility than she came across in this video. Somebody said, at times I found her genuinely remorseful, but the whole Cozy situation, not so much. Passing the blame on lawyers. Also, there was no way in hell she did not search Cozy once she decided on the name. The way she made sure to say a few times, smaller Canadian creator. I agree with that. Somebody said, I really hope she does get back into her passions and gets truly happy again, because it sounds like she isn't happy. She also kept talking about taking accountability, which she doesn't do. She didn't address that she doesn't own Jaclyn Cosmetics, so that's still shady in my opinion. She never once said Caitlin Nicholson's name, nor did she apologize to her. Exactly. This whole apology felt like a massive appeal to emotions, and it seems like it worked based on the comments. I'll have to rewatch it, but I don't think she said that she was sorry even once in the video. Well, honey, I watched it 3 times. She doesn't say she's sorry, okay? This was not, even though she wore a gray hoodie. She wore a gray hoodie for this, but she don't say she's sorry. Somebody said, Carolyn said she just can't tell the truth. There's multiple lies and contradictions in it. Somebody said, I can't wait, Peter. We need it now. I mean, there are so many comments on here, you guys. A lot of different opinions, a lot of gifts. Somebody said, I refuse to watch her videos, would rather watch yours about her and give you all the views. Well, thank you so much. She kept saying she was a CEO and owner of her company. She mentioned the original influencer Cozy, then moved off of the subject. She did very quickly. Everything she said I took with a grain of salt. It didn't come across genuine nor truthful. Somebody said, why, Jaclyn? Why? Why still Cozy from a small business owner? The audacity of her to then close the business. She cost Caitlin so much money, time, money, and hard work. Listen, Peter, Miss Jaclyn is a liar and a thief. Well, okay. That's your opinion, I guess. I do think it's kind of sad that Caitlin Nicholson, like, worked so hard on building her brand for that name and then changed it all because Jaclyn Hill came along, okay? And now Jaclyn's just closing it down. I don't know. Or are there things behind the scenes that we're not aware of, you know? That, I don't know. So, I don't know. It makes me sad. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts... A thart is a combination of a thought and a fart. Let me know what your thoughts are. Oh, just fart in the comment section. I don't care, okay? It's stinky mess down there anyway. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.